Welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. I'm your host, Emma Walkinshaw. I'm a transformational coach. I facilitate the Clarity Catalyst. I'm the founder of Morning Magic Membership. I also lead retreats here in Australia and internationally. I love all things self-mastery, mindset, and personal development. Here on this podcast, I bring you some pretty exceptional women. We talk all things creativity, business, love, life, and moving forward with self-awareness. I also come to you from time to time with a solo podcast with lots of Life According to Emma moments where I share some tools and also some, hopefully, inspiration for you to take the next step. Thanks for being here. Hello and welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. This week I come to you solo again with a topic I'd love to chat to you about and tell you a little story about what has worked in the past for me. So the theme, you might have seen the title of the podcast, which is Let's Soar in 2024. I know that most of us are no strangers to setting goals or setting intentions or the whole New Year's resolution. But I know that some of you have probably heard about just setting, or some of you may have done this, just setting one word or one feeling for the year. I have loved this. The last 2 years, that has been the way I've gone about my new year resolution, let's say, which has just been a word or a feeling. And it's a bit of a combination for me of it being really, really simple and able for me to immerse myself in. Also, the feeling words that I've chosen the last couple of years have really hit the spot. I've taken time and it's been a process to land in that feeling. And then from there, being able to choose things that support that feeling or I say yes to things that keep me on the path to that feeling and being in that energy of that feeling. So my word a couple of years ago was visible, and I had identified that there were some goals and dreams that I really wanted to achieve. And this is one of them, a podcast. That has been on my list for a couple of years. But I knew that one of the ingredients that I needed was to be comfortable with being visible. So my word was visible in 2022, and I kept with that theme and then kept choosing to do things in my business, in my life, that kept me at the front of people's minds. So yes, I'm a transformational coach. I run a Morning Magic. My whole work is about supporting, connecting, and helping people. But you can't sell a secret, right? It is no point me being a secret. And if you're listening to this and going, oh my gosh, Emma, that's me. I want to help so many people and I've got these dreams and desires. Maybe you need to be seen. Being visible potentially could be one of those key ingredients to help you move forward. So, and those of you, some of it, nope, I don't need to be seen, Emma. I can totally do my stuff solo. But those of us who need to be seen, get curious around that. So anyway, 2022 was my word, let's be visible. And then working through that too. And I realized that I had a few little snags around being visible. And I did a little bit of, well, not a little bit, quite a bit of journaling around when I decided it wasn't safe to be seen and why being visible and seen was so uncomfortable. And I know those of you who know me will go, really, Emma, but you're an extrovert. Yes, I am an extrovert, but I still had to keep moving forward into being visible and enjoying that feeling because I do enjoy sharing. I do enjoy speaking. You know, that is what I do. I coach people. I do group coaching. So that was my word for 2022. Then when it came to 2023, my feelings and my word were committed and consistent. And using the teaching of Danielle Laporte. So Danielle Laporte, the Desire Map, I did her facilitator training a few years ago. And Danielle very much teaches we're not actually going after the stuff, you know, as she says, the boat, the babes or the bucks. We're actually doing everything we do is driven to feel a certain way. And I knew that another key ingredient for me this year, I like the feeling of being committed and I like the feeling of being consistent. Because when I'm not committed, I'm wishy-washy and I don't like that feeling. I like to make a decision and I like to follow through. And committed for me was my word because I knew that I had some things that I wanted to create and it would take some commitment. And the opposite for me not being committed is flaky. And I do not like to feel that feeling. I like to feel the feeling of committed and I like the results committed and consistent get me. So that has been my words for the last couple of years. I also ran at the start of this year in January, I ran a workshop online and one in person, just a VIP day with 6 women. And the workshop was called 2023 Inspire Me. So this year it's Let's Soar in 2024. And I took the women through a process where they all arrived at their word or their feeling for the year. And it's funny, it takes a little bit of, I guess you could say, digging deep to find exactly what that word or feeling is for the year. But it's well worth it because once you get it, it's almost like you feel it. Well, not almost, you feel it in almost like, your gut, your solar plexus. You go, oh, that's my feeling for the year. That is how I want to feel. And it gets anchored in during the workshop and during the day. Although I do a little follow-up session and some people, sort of to and fro. But by the time I chatted with all of them afterwards, they went, no, that's my feeling. What I also did, and I'll do it again this year, is I had a little keychain made that goes on everybody's car keys and with their feeling engraved on a little love heart, just a light little piece of metal that engraves your feeling on it. And I have loved, that has been something that has worked really well for me as well. And when I see these beautiful women, and some of them are friends, dear friends, with their keychain, with their feeling word on it, it's just such an easy reminder to, wake up in the day and say, today, am I choosing things that support this feeling? If I say yes, is that going to get that feeling for me? If I say no, is it going to honor that feeling for me? So 2024, Let's Soar. Yes, I am running these workshops again. So I will do one online and one VIP event in Coolangatta here on the Gold Coast, just to a select few because I only have a few spots, 6 spots at the location that I do it. It's a beautiful, intimate day. So that is happening. And the other thing, I don't know if you probably have heard of this, but there is a little piece in our brain called our RAS, which is our reticular activating system. And it's that you've heard this theory. Let's say you want a new car, you want a red Mercedes, you drive out into the world and all you see is red Mercedes everywhere. Is there any more red Mercedes on the road? No, there's not. But what you've done is, just like Google, you've put into the search engine, you've typed into Google, you've typed into your brain, red Mercedes. So then what happens is that's what you're looking for. Just like the search engine does, then you're looking for red Mercedes. So how your RAS works, it is the part of our brain that sorts data. And I say your RAS literally could find a needle in a haystack. When you say, I'm finding the needle, I'm finding the needle, I'm finding the needle, it sorts out all those pieces of hay for you to zone in on the needle. So the thing by choosing a word or a feeling for the year, you are putting that into your RAS. You are programming that in. So then your data searches for me for opportunities to be visible. So then I got some speaking opportunities. I got podcast guest spots. I got asked to deliver in other people's programs. So that was that training my RAS then to look for opportunities to be visible. Then with my committed and my consistent, I have written a book this year. I have written 365 days of morning magic. And I've got to say that was that committed and consistent. And I've just finished that book. And I've got to say I felt a bit lost in the mornings because I would get up every morning. I would do 21 minutes of morning magic with my group. So that link will be in show notes. If you want to join 21 minutes of morning magic, it's a free group where we practice 3 mornings a week. We do a little bit of yoga, meditation, and journaling all in 21 minutes. And then I wrote the book. So the book's about to come out that, but that's another podcast episode. But yeah, so that committed and consistent this year, setting my RAS. I have written a book through just staying committed and consistent. So next year's word is definitely bubbling for me. I cannot wait to run the workshop Let's Soar in 2024. And if you feel a little bit excited about this and would love to choose your word or your feeling for 2024, I would love you to come and join me. So there's going to be a link in the show notes, either online or only 6 spots for the VIP. But let's set our intention for the year, or set our word, set our feelings. So then we are just choosing things that support that feeling. And then you get to live a beautiful year on your terms, feeling how you want to feel. All right, my darlings, take care. I hope to see you in my workshop next year. Namaste, Em. If you are ready to choose your word or your feeling for 2024, I have on offer 2 workshops to choose from. There is Let's Soar 2024 on Zoom, where we will gather and I will take you through a beautiful process where you arrive at your feeling for the year. There's also the VIP event, which is an in-person run on the Gold Coast. If you go to the show notes, there is a link there. Book your spot, and I cannot wait to see you.